The National Guard will also be helping
The
Hurricane
Indiana
Maria.
National Guard is on the way.
Good afternoon, everybody. Today I'm here with Chief Master Sergeant Bush, who is the Senior Enlisted Leader of Air Staff here at headquarters in Indiana. Today we're here to talk a little bit about the upcoming Enlisted Leadership Symposium, Joint Enlisted Leadership Symposium, that's going to be taking place this October. Chief, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is the third annual Joint Enlisted Leadership Symposium that we're having. It happens every October, usually the last week of October this year. It's the 21st through the 25th of this year.
Awesome. Can you tell me a little bit about who would be, who should be encouraged to attend and who's eligible to attend?
Sure. Our E5s through E7s in either the Air Force or Army side of the house, and across three wings. On the air side, you have the 434th at Grissom, the 122nd at Fort Wayne, and the 181st at Terre Haute. And then as far as the Army, any of our Army Guard units.
Awesome. What can these service members expect to take away from the Joint Enlisted Leadership Symposium?
So the overarching focus of GELS is strategic leadership, getting our enlisted members or NCOs kind of thinking up and out, not just tactically at their unit levels, but thinking broader than that. And GELS is one of those ways that we try to accomplish that.
Okay. What is the dates of GELS this year?
It's the 21st through 25th. It's a Monday through Friday
Okay.
in October.
So is that something where service members are going to have to procure their own travel and stay, or what does that scenario kind of look like when they get there?
So in order for a member to attend, they need to work with their leadership to express if they're interested in getting their name on the list to attend. Once they've been selected to be an attendee, then they would work through their respective units to obtain annual training or whatever status they're going to be sent in. But they should be in status when they attend the training.
Okay. So this event is 5 days. What can attendees expect throughout the course of those 5 days?
Sure. Yeah, it's 5 days. The first and last day are travel days, with a minor exception on the first day. They'll arrive mid-afternoon. They'll get some intro briefings, and then we'll have an icebreaker, because one of the main focuses of this is not just obtaining leadership skills, but building those relationships, not just within your immediate unit, but outside your unit. So the intent is to meet Army personnel, Air Force personnel, meet people from different units. You got one unit up in Fort Wayne, the 122nd, a unit down at the 181st. So building those bridges across all those units and the services. So that's the first day. The second day is going to be the first big day. We're going to have distinguished visitors coming in. So you're going to have state headquarters leadership. You're going to have unit leadership. And the intent there is to them have an opportunity to address these NCOs and what they should expect to get from this type of training, and also gives the leadership an opportunity of, okay, how are they going to apply that in their future mission sets? Then we'll close out that second day with the threat brief. So you're going to receive a briefing on what the cyber threat is, what the intel threat is, and so that kind of sets the stage for why this training is important. And then we close it out with some physical fitness to get everybody up and moving around after they've been kind of lounging around the whole day.
Right.
The third day, that's going to be where we're going to focus again on that main topic of leadership. And it's going to be from a presenter. If you know John Maxwell, he's a famous author and speaker on leadership. And so he kind of brings in the civilian perspective, and because a lot of our attendees are going to be just drill status guardsmen. And so this training is not just obviously for your military career, but it's for your civilian career, because those things blend together naturally. And so we want to help give members tools that can address both of those aspects. We close out the day on Wednesday focusing on mental health and giving our leaders tools and how to help their airmen as well as themselves and the soldiers working through some mental health challenges, especially that come from being in conflict, being in high threat situations. And that's going to be led by our directors of psychological health, and also our chaplain corps is going to address those topics.
Awesome. I love that. Checking every box. Military professionalism, civilian professionalism, and personal lifestyle. That's awesome.
And so then on Thursday is what we typically have done in the past is called our range day. And so the hope there is we're going to see some bombs get dropped from our local, one of our airframes here in the state, and also probably some demonstrations as far as force on force type demonstrations. Maybe even see some of the Army do their thing with firing off their weaponry. Is the hope. We're still hammering out a lot of those details. Some other exciting things that I don't really want to, I don't have a handle on because we're still working out those details, but probably some pretty exciting opportunity on that day as well that I'll just leave as a question mark for everybody. And then that day is closed out with our E9 burger burn. That's kind of the second icebreaker, if you will, or a morale event. And hopefully by that time, after the members have been working together, they're really kind of jiving, if you will. And they're going to be what I mentioned to say, or I forgot to say, in order to build those relationships, it's not just going to be, okay, airmen sitting in one area and Army soldiers sitting in one area. We're going to mix everybody up into teams, and they're going to be working on a capstone project. And so hopefully by that Thursday, when we go to that burger burn, they've kind of worked out all those details, because come Friday morning, they're going to have to present that capstone to a panel of command chiefs and command sergeant majors. And so it'll be really interesting to see what kind of ideas, after they've been through these different aspects of the week and bringing together their backgrounds, what ideas they're going to come up with to as resolutions to those capstone projects.
Awesome. And then I assume Friday they just roll out that morning.
Yeah, Friday after they present their capstone to that panel, then they're free for their travel day. Usually we're done by like 10 o'clock in the morning, so you're done well before lunch and have more than enough time to travel, depending on where you're coming from the state. So that's the nice thing about having it there at Atterbury. It's kind of centralized.
What do you see as the future of GELS?
So the future of GELS, again, GELS originally started with just the two Air National Guard wings from Fort Wayne and Terre Haute. And then it started out as just Enlisted Leadership Symposium. And then we brought in that joint element with the intent of, again, building those relationships across services and across the state of Indiana. And so the future, hopefully we continue to do that, and then we bring in other services, other units, because we have Marine reservists here in this state. We have Navy reservists here in the state. And so we want to bring them in too and start building those relationships. Because you never know when you're going to, just because we see the fight as being outside of our national borders, there's always that threat of maybe something here in our homeland. And so by building those relationships, we can better see those and be prepared for those.
I know there's a limit on how many people can attend. How many people are typically part of the symposium?
We have to limit it due to lodging and meeting space to 100 at Camp Atterbury. So right now, roughly, it's right now that's the limit, is 100 attendees spread across 3 wings, and then the Army.
What advice would you have for either immediate supervisors or military leaders in a wing or a battalion command, whatever, what have you? What advice would you have for them to encourage their service members to attend?
Again, going with that idea of building relationships and developing your leaders, my advice to them is pick out those soldiers or those airmen who you think would benefit the most from training like this, and who have the desire to step outside their comfort zone, if you will, and to take in, I guess, non-traditional types of training like this, and then take back from that what they learn and take it back to their units, and use that to better their airmen and soldiers that they are leading, and to develop those young soldiers and those young airmen below them, and prepare them for the next level, next responsibility.
Awesome. So if a service member is interested in attending, or a supervisor is interested in submitting a soldier or an airman of theirs, where would they go to do that? And is there a deadline for submissions?
Yeah, so each wing, and I believe my understanding is the Army has put out the information. So for the Army contact, it would be Master Sergeant Hinton here at state headquarters. And then for the respective wings, at the 181st, you have Master Sergeant Landis at the 181st. You have Master Sergeant Smith at the 122nd. And then either Sergeant Moda, the first sergeant there at the 434th, or Chief Estes at the 434th.
Awesome. And I presume that service members will probably see an email with those contacts at some point as well.
It should be already circulating through the different councils at each base, and then they should start seeing emails and announcements.
Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to add before we wrap up?
Additional to that, if for some reason you don't know who those individuals are, you can contact myself, Chief Master Sergeant David Bush. I'm on the global, so david.bush.4@us.af.mil.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank everybody for attending. I also highly encourage anybody who's interested to go ahead and jump in on that. I've got to see it in years past covering it from public affairs perspective, and I've seen a lot of relationships, personal growth, and it seems like everybody there has a great time. It seems like a cool group. They get really tight-knit since they're all staying there together and doing the evening activity. So once again, thank everybody for attending, and we'll see you on the next one.